Hey guys, welcome to this video and my channel. My name is Heather. I'm the owner and creator here at Wicked Whiskey Designs, and today it is all about a basic ombre. We are learning how to basic ombre a tumbler, 2 colors, nothing fancy. We're not breaking into the 5, 6, 7 color range. Basic foundation, how to glitter an ombre tumbler. That's what we're doing today. Definitely check in the description box down below. I have links to all of the products that I use to make this tumbler, and there's also a few coupon codes down there as well. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It's a brand new channel, but we have a ton of content on its way, so you definitely want to get notified of when those videos drop. And do not skip to the end of this video without stopping at the tips and tricks section. The tips and tricks section is where I share with you all of the tips and tricks that I've learned along the way so that you can make a cup like this as easy and as perfect as possible. I think that pretty much wraps up the intro. I'm going to go ahead and get started, show you everything you need to make this cup. Let's go have some fun. Hey guys, what are we doing this week? Ombre. We are learning how to ombre. As I'm standing here, I'm looking behind me. My garage looks so empty right there. I had to sacrifice one of my glitter tables to my fly trap collection. So if you think that kids and dogs are expensive, grow Venus fly traps. Yeah. Anyway, what are we doing? Ombreing. If you are, whether you are just starting on this little path of glitter tumbler maker-ing, or you have been doing this for quite some time, the very first thing you need to learn how to do is ombre a glitter tumbler. I'm not talking about a 5, 6, 7 color tumbler. I mean just 2. You need to learn the basics, and this is going to probably be the first of our, what I would call like our foundation, set. Things that you need to learn in the beginning so that you can be amazing down the line. There are approximately 18 billion videos on how to ombre glitter tumblers, and I definitely encourage you to go watch as many of them as you can. The reason is this: everybody does something different, okay? I learned from watching Jessica Flynn, Flynn Sisters Boutique. If you're not familiar with her, definitely go check out her channel. She's got a million videos and she's amazing. I learned how to ombre the right way, if you will, by watching her. She's like the best. Fast forward, I do mine a little different now, and I like how I do mine, and you know what I mean? Like, everybody kind of picks up something different. So go watch different videos. I remember in the beginning, somebody, watching people that are like, okay, if you're mixing color A and color B, take a little bit of A, a little bit of B, put it in a cup, mix it together, and then that's how you do your transition. I tried that. I watched people make like bomb diggity amazing cups by doing that. Mine looked like complete trash, so that didn't work for me. I've seen people with like the little mesh tea thingy, where they sit there and use that for the transition. Again, their cups are amazing. I tried that. It didn't work for me. And I'm one of those people that kind of has to learn by doing it and make my own mistakes. So a lot of times, it wasn't so much that my technique was off, my colors were off, my glitter was off. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in the tips and tricks section of this video. You could be doing amazing work. The glitter that you're choosing is working against you, okay? I, in the beginning, found one of the hardest colors for me to find and love is like a hot pink. Not too hot, not too Barbie, that perfect little area of hot pink. Found one, loved it, claimed it to be the most amazing glitter in the entire universe. Worked with it once, hated it, renamed it from bubblegum to asshole bubblegum because of the fact that it wouldn't work for me. So we're going to talk more about glitter choices, because if you're making choices that are working against you, maybe your ombre isn't that bad. Maybe it's the glitter you're choosing. Like I said, we'll talk more about that later. So what we are going to do is we're going to work on just a basic 2-color ombre this week for this video. This is not it. Don't think we want green today. I feel like we're in a purple mood today. So we're going to do purple and gold. So we're going to start with how to spray paint it, and then we're just going to go move on from there. Okay. So what we're going to do, I've got a 30-ounce skinny. We are going to do gold and purple. Purple on the top, gold on the bottom. we know I have a billion different spray paint colors. If you don't, that's fine. If you have white, paint this all white if that's what you're working with. If not, then I would suggest doing a gold spray paint on the bottom and some color that's going to match your glitter on the top. Doesn't have to be exact. It can be close. That's fine. I just like to make the have the spray paint do half the work for me. So always encouraged to do that. But again, if you only have white, that's fine. Just don't do it on a naked stainless. Make sure you at least have, you know, a white spray paint base or something on there. What we're going to do is this. Like I said, gold on the bottom, purple on the top. Even though I'm going to do a half and half split on this ombre, I am not going to bring my gold spray paint half up, purple half down, okay? We're not doing that. We don't want to do that, because then where you spray paint, that's where you're kind of committed to. So especially if you have, like, if you're working on your spray paint skills and say you have like a hard line between the two colors, you are then going to be obligated to bring your gold all the way up to that line and beyond. And it's just, I feel like it just puts like a little too much pressure on making sure that your ombre is perfect. Are you covering the spray paint? Absolutely. But spray paint, for as much of a help as spray paint can be, it can be that much of a hindrance as well. I've done that to where I'm like half gold, half purple, and then it's like you're trying to fight against that spray paint base. So don't do that to yourself. I'm going to run my gold up maybe about a third, and I'm going to do purple on the rest, and then we're going to go on from there. Gold near empty as per usual. So I am going to go ahead, and your spray paint doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, about that much of gold. And that much purple. And now I'm fumigating myself. Whew. Okay, and the reason I did that is because I am not bringing up that gold solid halfway up that cup. I am going to bring purple down more, all right? And it's one of those things that I feel like less, when you're doing an ombre, less is more when it comes to real estate involving spray paint. If you paint your cup half and half, okay, you're fighting against that barrier. So if you're trying to bring a color up a little more or down a little more, you're fighting covering that paint line that you've designated for yourself. Doing a little bit less on the bottom, more on the top, you're able to bring those colors from the bottom up, and you're not fighting trying to keep that base, you know, that solid spray paint barrier. You're not trying to cover that. I hope that makes sense in some way. Hopefully when I start doing this, it'll maybe make a little bit more sense. But yeah, like I said, I always do less on the bottom, more on the top, and that's how I do my ombre spray paint. So let's go glitter. Okay, so we're going to break this tutorial into 3 parts. Number 1, let's talk about glitter real quick. Number 2, we're going to ombre our tumbler. And number 3, I'm going to show you why my process has evolved to what it is now from where I was to begin with. Okay, and hopefully that'll kind of help you understand why I do the things I do. First thing, let's talk about glitter. I am using for the purple, let me put that on before I spill it all over the place. For the purple, I am using Nurple by It's Pretty Personal. It is beautiful. Not only is it beautiful, it is a very soft glitter. There's nothing hard about this glitter. Hard glitters will bounce right off of your cup. Soft colors are beautiful and will blend beautifully. Next, I have Cleopatra, all right, by Peachy Olive Glitters. Again, an extremely soft glitter. It's solid, it's not translucent, it's extremely soft, and it will blend beautifully. Next, we have the chunky portion of our program here. This is Cleopatra, okay? Cleopatra is, it's not a crazy chunky gold. It is chunky, but it's not like, you know, big fat mama chunky. I say that with love. I wouldn't say it's a mid chunky, but it flashes different colors. Again, it's a very soft glitter. And if you want to know if your glitter is hard or soft, pick it up and get your hands in it, okay? Most of the glittering that I do, a lot of it, I use my hands to do it. And you're going to see me do that here. If you are not that person, totally cool. Grab your shaker, follow along, but touch your glitter, because some of the prettiest glitters I've ever just wanted to work with, they're very hard and you've got to treat them differently. Soft glitter, hard glitter, translucent glitter, you know, opal glitter, matte glitter, they're all different. So you've got to start becoming a little bit familiar with your glitter if you want to be successful with your ombres. Okay, we ready? All right, so the first thing I did is I just sprayed my entire cup, top, bottom, middle, everything with spray adhesive. I'm a spray adhesive girl. That is not going to change. So that's how I do my tumblers. Next, you can use a shaker. Again, if you're not that person that wants to get their hands in their glitter, totally understand. Keep your house clean and not have everything, including the dogs, covered in glitter. But I just feel like I have more control getting my hands in this and doing this part, the gold, with my hands. The purple, I use the shaker. The gold, I use my hands. I tilt my, I'm sure I'm hoping you guys can see this. I am tilting my tumbler up, okay? Bottom up. I'm going to say, don't ask me what degree. Let's say halfway between straight and not. And what I'm going to do is I grab my glitter and I'm very lightly sprinkling. I am not going heavy. I am not trying to be like, hi, here's all my gold. And if before I even forget, the reason why we're using this is so that the chunky does not need to work as hard and you're not going to end up with a super fat bottom cup because you had to use 3 different passes of chunky glitter. We're going to do 1 pass of the gold fine and then we're going to add the chunky on top of it. Okay, so we are going to tilt. We are going very lightly. This is kind of hard to do at an angle, so bear with me. I don't care about full coverage. All right, I don't want full coverage. I'm just trying to get a base. Now, the very bottom of the cup, yeah, I'll go ahead and full coverage that for the sake of doing it. And then I will also flip my cup up. Normally I don't have to do quite like this, but I don't normally have a camera right in front of me either. That didn't work. Bear with me, I gotta go off-road here for a minute. All right, there we go. Tap off your excess. Now, this is what my gold looks like right now. It's not full coverage. It's up not very far. You can see where my paint line is, okay? It's just very lightly scattered up in all of this, okay? And that is what I want. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add a layer of purple. Okay. Again, I don't use the salt shaker top very often. If you've watched me more than 10 minutes, you've learned that by now. I'm going to go ahead and go pretty solid up here because I'm not bringing my gold ever all the way up here in any kind of real way. And I have a tendency to go at an angle down here at the bottom. And I'm holding my glitter up high so that it falls it scatters. I'm not like, hi, here's my glitter. You know what I mean? I'm up here, I'm shaking it so it's kind of going everywhere. And this is what my cup looks like right now, okay? Next, we're going to put the purple away for a minute. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to spray the whole, I'm not going to worry about the bottom. I don't do multiple runs of glitter on the bottom of my cup. 1 is sufficient. I'm going to go ahead and spray all of this with spray adhesive, and then we're going to go on to the next set. Okay, so now I'm going to break out the chunky gold. Bring you over here. Come on. All right, now we're going to break out Athena. Okay, same thing as I did on the fine gold. I'm going to tilt up. Okay, so we're running at this kind of an angle. If I could do it in a different way for you guys to see, I would, but trust me, it wouldn't work for me. We'd have glitter everywhere. So now, again, I'm grabbing my gold. and I'm going lightly. I am not trying to be like, you know, covering anything full coverage per se. I am scattering it down the cup lightly, heavy on the bottom and then lighter as I go. I'm not trying to go full coverage. I'm not trying to, you know, I want this to be covering, but not 100%, so that when we go through with the purple again, that it has a place to land as well. Okay, now that paint line that we used, that we went with, is right up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, shake off. This is where my gold is right now, but myself, I know there's a paint line there. Maybe the customer never will. Maybe the customer doesn't see the things I see. That's a guarantee, but I don't want that. I know it's there. So I'm going to bring my gold up just a little bit more and cover that so that it's not, I don't know it's there. Let's put it that way. Okay. And that is what our gold looks like right now. Okay. Move your gold off to the side. Grab your purple again. And I'm going to do basically the same thing that I did on the first one. I go real heavy up here, okay? Because I know that I'm not putting gold up there by any rate, you know, other than what may have automatically just shot up there. And I'm going to shake that off lightly. Don't shake too hard because you're going to get gold into your purple. And then I am very lightly going to come in and just go very, very gentle on top of where that gold really kind of starts to be present, so that my purple is now filling in the blanks for any of that gold that is missing, okay? And that is my ombre. Because we did a fine gold base, you don't need to have 1,000 pounds of chunky glitter to make up this cup. And I'm going to show you next why that's important. So yeah, that's all it is too. I mean, that's all you do. That's literally all it is when it comes to my ombres. Okay, so this is my ombre. All right, you can see it blends beautifully. It's not a super heavy, you know, run of gold. It's just a really nice ombre. Okay, so now let me show you how I got from where I started to where I am now and why I made the changes and the decisions that I have. This is just a regular plain white spray paint. It's or spray paint cup. It's a junk cup. You can kind of almost see the plaid design underneath, but that's not really, it won't matter. I want to show you the difference between how my cup turned out doing the spray paint, doing the different gold glitters versus how I used to do them on a white spray painted cup with just tons of chunky glitter. Okay, so we're going to go through the same steps that I used to do, and maybe we can see what the difference is and why I do what I do now. We are going to start with our gold glitter main frame. I am. Set that up, get the bottom. All right, now let's stop. Already you can see, look at all that white through there, okay? You can see now all the white. We are going to grab the purple, same process. And that's what it looks like, okay? Still not a deal breaker. We're still good. We're going to go hit it with another coat of spray adhesive and do the second coat. Okay, so after 2 runs, you can see here the purple, you can still see the white underneath there a little bit. And the gold, you can still see white under there as well, especially on the edge. Okay, so this is actually probably going to need 1 more pass each of the gold and the purple. Actually, you know what? We're going to stop. Hold on. Let me grab you down here. Hold on. You can still see the white through there. I'm trying to angle it. So there you go. You can still see the white. You can see the white under the gold. You can see the white under the purple. You can see the white on the edge. So yeah, this would need 1 more run. I'm trying to get you where you can see the white the most. Probably just at an angle. Anyway, so yeah, you would need 1 more run of purple, 1 more run of gold, and you can already see that that gold is starting to, you know, add some weight to the cup. Okay, so when it comes to chunky glitter, every time you add an extra run on top of a cup, you're building up chunky on top of chunky on top of chunky, which is causing your cup bottom there to get fatter and fatter and fatter. So that is why I use spray painted bases and fine glitter underneath that gold to hopefully avoid where it's starting to get all fat bottomed. I hope that explains things a little bit. There you go. That might be a little bit better. See all that white underneath there? Right there. And under the gold, white. So anyway, that's why I go with painted cups and fine glitter under the gold. So that's why I do the spray painted base and then do a finer gold glitter under the chunky gold. And you can do that with any color. You're doing silver, do silver. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a finer cut glitter that is comparable to what you are putting on for your chunky glitter, use that first pass to use the fine glitter. It's going to save you. You know, you're going to have more color. It's going to be more vibrant. You're not worrying about white. You know, once upon a time, I started out, that's all I had was white spray paint. And then I had white and black. And at some point I got white, black, and gold, etc., etc. So depending on your business and the cups that you're doing, if you see that you love silver and colors for your ombre, invest the $6 in a can of silver spray paint. If you're doing gold, invest the $6 for gold spray paint. You don't need to go out and spend $1,000 on every color imaginable, but the colors that you know that you're going to work with more, take the time, and if you're able to, you know, grab that $6 can of spray paint when you're able to. If you're not able to, don't worry about it. Use the white. Just know that you're going to have to add an extra run of glitter on top of all that. You're probably going to have to do 2 or 3, if not more, passes of glitter, and that's fine. Okay, we've all been there on that. It's not a big deal, but just know that you need to do that. So, like I said, just kind of a little comparison on why I do what I do. Okay, now side by side, this is the comparison. And if you look close, you can see how this is the gold that we did with just the fine underneath the chunky, and then this is 2 runs of chunky glitter only. And you can see this one is much thinner in that it's not making the bottom of the cup very fat. Keep in mind, this one we still would need to do 1 more run of glitter, both the purple and the gold, because you can still see the white through there. And you can already, like I said, you can kind of look at the bottom, look at that bottom difference. And that's why I go with a layer of fine under the chunky instead of multiple runs of just chunky glitter. So hope that helps explain things a bit more. Once you are happy with your ombre, go ahead, seal it with spray sealer so that all of your glitter is sealed in properly, and then move it for its first round of epoxy. I mixed up 30 mLs of epoxy and with a gloved hand very carefully added the epoxy to the top of the cup before moving on to the bottom of the cup. I find that epoxying the 2 sections separately at first helps protect from my gold going everywhere, even though it is spray sealed. Spray sealer is not a miracle worker. After that, hit it with your torch, get rid of all your micro bubbles, and then once your epoxy is cured, you're probably going to have to send it for at least one more run of epoxy before it's finished off. Hey guys, what's up? What are we doing today? We're doing ombres. All right, this is a basic 2-color ombre. This is nothing overly fancy. It's nothing hard. We're not talking about a 5, 6 color, 5, 6, 7 color ombre. We are just hitting on the foundation of a basic ombre to glitter your tumbler. If you are new to doing tumblers, or if you have been doing tumblers and you're just looking for, somebody new to look at and watch and see if there's anything that would help you improve your game, that's what this video is all about. And I am going to tell you what, that tutorial that I just did is probably like the fastest and the quickest one I've done probably on this entire channel. The TNT section might be a little bit longer than the tutorial. We got things to talk about. We got things to talk about. If there's one thing I don't see when it comes to, other tumbler tutorials, as far as doing an ombre, nobody seems to talk about like the 1900 other things that can possibly make you not like your ombre. Glitter color, glitter size, cut, shape, weather, you know what I mean? There's a ton of things that we need to go over, and that's what we're going to do. So, grab your coffee. Okay. We got things to talk about. So let's get started. Number 1, this is a weird one. Okay. This may not affect everybody, but imagine my surprise when it affected me, because of course it did. I am in Florida. If you're unfamiliar with Florida weather, it's basically like the waiting room into hell. Okay. It's hot. It's humid. It's muggy. It rains, and then it gets worse. And it's Florida. Florida living. Think of Jurassic Park. That's pretty much what Florida is. The thing is this, 95% of my time is hot, humid, predictable. Every once in a while, we have these outlier days that are different, and those different days affect my glitter differently. I have 2 glitter stations in my world. I have a room on the inside of my house where I, walk from my garage, glitter, walk back out, hit the spray adhesive, walk back. Those are kind of like for like pretty much my, my one-off tumblers. In my garage, I have a glitter station set up for my 2 most popular best-selling tumblers, because I'm not trying to walk back and forth a billion times. The size of my butt would appreciate if I did that, but I'm not trying to do that because I'm busy. So, those ones I glitter out in the garage. I have weeks where I have 27 salty beach tumblers to do. It's easier for me to have a station out in my garage. I just glitter there, rinse and repeat. You get my drift. The thing is this, those days in my world where my weather is different than the usual, my glitter doesn't roll the same way. My glitter doesn't lay the same way. My glitter doesn't adhere the same way. And every year I forget until one of these days pop up, and then I'm like, oh, great, it's one of these days. When it gets cold, okay? When it gets cold, the glitter does not adhere to my spray adhesive in the same manner. When it gets cold, my glitter will lay flatter. So more like epoxy method looking, ombres versus freestyle. You know how when you epoxy method your glitter, it kind of flattens out? That's what happens on cold days. Or if it's a very hot day in the summer, right between spring and summer, it gets really hot, but then there'll be a few days where it's really nice and there's very low humidity. Same thing happens. My glitter does not roll the same way. Ombres that normally would, take 2 passes, now I have to take 3, 4 passes just to get the glitter on the cup like I want it to. Instead of just, laying down beautifully, it's patchy. It's a mess. It's a mess. So I don't know if anybody else has these problems, but if you're in Florida and, your stuff's jumping off like that, think about the weather. Who knew? What else? Okay, let's talk. Oh, do you have your coffee? This one might take a minute. I'm gonna put the cup down. Size matters. Despite all the rumors, size matters. Size matters, cut matters, color matters. If you are just starting out and you are, or maybe you're not just starting out, maybe you have been doing this for a while and you're just looking for a way to, step your game up a bit. Do not be, my friends, my family, do not go and grab a $16 bag of glitter to learn how to ombre. Don't do that. Please don't do that. You're going to waste all the sparklies. Don't do that, all right? If you are learning, or you are learning to, or you're trying to practice, take your happy self down to Walmart, all right? Or over to Michael's and get yourself a $2, $3, you know, shaker of glitter. Get 2 or 3 colors and use that to learn, okay? Do not waste all your pretties. Just don't. Is there a difference between a $3 glitter and a $16 glitter? If you put them side by side, yeah, there is. And you would see that, okay? But you're not trying to work on that right now. You're trying to learn how to ombre and make it beautiful. And that's not something that you're going to learn the first time out. You know, it's something that does take practice. Now, there are those goddesses that just like sprinkle on their first day and it's amazing. And you're like, you have like a glitter gene. Awesome. Congrats. But honestly, do not grab your favorite glitter. Okay. Do not grab, you know, your most expensive spangly glitter. Just don't. If you are learning and you are working on your foundation, go ahead and grab the cheap stuff. That's what it's there for. Personally, I still love Recollections from Michael's. Like, I still have it. I still use it. I think it's an awesome glitter. It's not expensive. Grab a couple colors. You know what I'm saying? Just don't think that you've got to go grab the really great stuff for it to be amazing. You don't. Okay? There are so many beautiful, inexpensive glitters. You're learning. You're going to probably have to do it a couple times until you get comfortable with it. Don't waste the expensive stuff. Okay? Okay. Next, set yourself up for success. There are certain colors, certain cuts that just don't start there. White and black. Don't do white and black. Okay? In my opinion, in my humble little opinion, white and black is the devil. Okay? White and black for me is like the hardest ombre to get right. All right? So if you are starting out, especially, grab something complementary. Grab like a purple to teal, you know, light blue to dark blue, yellow to orange. You see where I'm going with that? Grab something complementary because it makes it easier. Also, this is, you know, somebody would look at this and be like, oh, you have a purple glitter, and then you just like put this really pretty spray of gold up from the bottom. And a lot of times people aren't looking, being like, wow, those are 2 separate entities and you've merged them, you've ombre'd them. You know, they're like, oh, you just have that coming up from the bottom. Fine to chunky, to me, is easier than fine to fine, okay? If you are doing a fine to chunky spray like this, there's a lot more forgiveness with your spray, you know, with your ombre coming down. If this was a fine to fine, you have to nail that. All right. There is no, oh, this is gold going over the purple. There, you know, with a fine to fine, you are 50-50, you know, matchup. So just kind of keep that in mind. Sometimes, for me at least, I find that doing a chunky bottom on tumblers is a little bit easier than trying to do a fine to fine glitter. Now, let's also talk about, let's just like kind of go over like the mechanics of this real quick, okay? This, you know, this is easy. Ombres are easy. It's just learning how heavy to pour your glitter, you know, to sprinkle your glitter and to get your positioning right. Okay, if you are, let me take the lid off. If you are ombreing like this, all right, you've got your little, you know, your little rod, your little whatever, and you're ombreing like this. Do you see that this is almost even? If you're like right here like this. So when you sprinkle your glitter and you really want to go, you want to go up high and you want to sprinkle lightly. You're not trying to like, here's all my glitter. Okay. You want to go up high and you want to go, you're sprinkling lightly. Think Parmesan cheese. That's what I always kind of tell myself. Like you're sprinkling Parmesan cheese. Okay. You're not drowning it, even though it's spaghetti. You're going to go ahead and just lightly sprinkle. So it all just kind of cascades down so perfectly. But if you're holding your cup at like this angle, this is not an angle. This is not much of an angle. So when you're sprinkling, it's all going to pool right here and then maybe scooch out just a little bit. You're not going to get it all up in here. It's not going to be this little beautiful little splash. You're going to pool all your glitter right here. If you're working at an angle very similar or not too far off from absolutely straight across. So when you are doing this, hit that angle. And when I say hit it, I mean hit it. Okay, we're going all the way up here because that's going to, as you sprinkle, it's going to allow that glitter to cascade down. And that's what you want for a cup like this, for an ombre like this, okay? Watch your angle. That's a big one. There are different kind of ombres, okay? I've had people send me pictures and be like, this is a cup that, you know, my sister did for me 5 years ago. And, you know, can you do something like this? And it's got an ombre that's like right there. You know what I mean? Where it's like two colors and they're not merging to where it's like, you know, going like this, it's like this. So, you know, it's one of those things too. If that's your style, awesome. If somebody sends you a cup design and that's what they want, up to you to decide if you want to do those. I personally don't like that style of ombre as well, but I certainly will do them for a customer if they ask. You know, you got to keep in mind that this is something that you really, these take a minute to learn how to do it, you know, the right way and to where you're going to be happy with it. Everybody has a different idea of what they want their ombre to look like. So if this is like too scattered out for you, you know, I got gold coming up here, tighten that down, just tighten it up. You know, keep in mind too, you are going very light. You're going very light with these glitters, because what you're trying to do is, as you're going down the cup, you want these things to spray. You know, you want them to spray, and then you're coming up and you're spraying up your other color. You want your ombre to lock in like a puzzle, okay? And that's why you're going very light, so that these pieces, those glitter pieces, can do this. If you're going real heavy with your glitter, you're going to basically bump up into each other, and you're not going to have an ombre. You're just going to have, this is the gold part, this is the purple part. You know what I mean? There's not going to be a merging. It's just going to butt up against each other. So just go lightly, go slowly, you know, sprinkle up high and tilt that cup. Those are like pretty much the best, you know, the best way I can go through the mechanics on that. Next, let's talk about glitter. Okay. Oh, I don't have it with me, do I? I forgot to grab it. Sorry. When I first started, I found probably the hardest color for me to fall in love is pink, which is ironic considering that's usually the color I have my hair a lot of times. Pink, finding the perfect pink has been like such a challenge for me. I don't know why. I don't know. It's a thing. Once upon a time, I found this pink glitter, and it was called bubblegum, and they don't make it anymore. Okay. But I found this, and it was the perfect everything. It was like, it wasn't like a neon pink. It was like a Barbie pink, but like an electric Barbie pink. It was spangly and sparkly and fine glitter. And it was everything that a girl who loves pink could possibly dream. And I used it once, and I was so excited. I'm like, it'll be amazing. F that glitter, okay? I renamed it from bubblegum to asshole bubblegum, okay? And I hated using it. It was horrible. It was stunning in the package, and then when you tried to apply it, it bounced. It was like a hard metallic, which at the time I didn't know what that meant. You have soft metallic glitters, you have hard metallic glitters. This was a hard metallic glitter that as soon as it hit the cup, all those little fine pieces just bounced right off the cup. And I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen. More spray adhesive, pour it on, half bounced off. I think I had to put like, I don't know, 6 runs of glitter for it to even like stay on the cup. And then it stuck to the parchment paper. What sticks to parchment paper? Nothing. Asshole bubblegum sure did. So I'm trying to get it off the parchment paper, back in the shaker. It won't come off. I mean, it was just miserable. Like, I hated it. That's the stuff that you want to avoid, okay? If you have a favorite color and it's not working for you, reassess the colors you're choosing, the glitter you're choosing. I broke out glitter discs to hopefully explain what the heck I'm talking about here. Side note, if you're looking for a way to display your glitter to customers, these things are awesome. You have a ton of different cuts of glitter, okay? And that's going to be probably the easiest way to step up your love for your ombre, is to make sure that you're choosing glitters that work well within each other, okay? You have translucent glitters, you've got holographic glitters, you've got matte glitters, you've got metallics, okay? There's so many different kinds of cuts and styles and textures of glitter. You have soft glitters, you have hard glitters, you have fat mama chunky glitters that are, you know, the discs are this big. These are all things that can really impact your ombre, okay? If you are putting, say, a hard metallic glitter and you're trying to ombre it into a translucent see-through glitter, that may not work out as well. Now, if you're doing fine to chunky, it's a lot less polarizing. It's a lot less complicated. There's a lot more forgiveness there. If you are going fine translucent to holographic chunky, you're fine with that. But it's if you're trying to do fine to fine, if you're trying to do fine glitter to fine glitter, that's where these differences in glitter textures and styles, that's where you can get jammed up. If you're doing, say, a hard metallic red fine glitter into a translucent hot pink glitter, that is not going to merge well because that translucent glitter can't cover or blend in well with a hard metallic. Translucents are see-through-y, okay? So it's not going to look balanced. And that's something that you kind of have to keep in mind, okay? Like this is a matte glitter, okay? You can't see through that. This is a holographic, chunky, okay? Again, can't see through that. This is a metallic. I really wish that would focus. That would make me happy. There we go. All right, this is a metallic. Also can't see through that. This is a translucent. You can see through that though, okay? Again, now this is a micro fine translucent, okay? So all of these, what else do I got? I have another metallic. These all work differently, okay? So say you take a super fine translucent and a metal, okay? If you're trying to ombre those fine to fine glitters, that's a hard sell. That's hard. It's not impossible. You know, you can absolutely do it. But what I'm saying is if you are starting off on this or you are trying to just, you know, better your technique, set yourself up for success. Don't pick the hardest things in the box to try to do right out, you know, right out of the gate. So there are like I've got probably over 700 glitter colors, okay? Is it an addiction? Possibly, but we won't discuss that. I've got a ton. I have a ton. And if I had to break my glitter room into sections, probably a third of it it's pretty personal glitter. A third of it is peachy olive. And then a third of it is, you know, like random stuff that I grab off of Etsy or from other sellers. I know that It's Pretty Personal is, you know, she has lines. She has like the Tarte line. The Tarte line, for example, is like, you know, like all, like let's say what you would use to like make a rainbow, okay? But it's all the same cut, same style, same translucency. So those colors work beautifully together, okay? I know Peachy Olive, I noticed she updated her website where now you can sort and filter by the same thing. I'm looking for all metallics. Okay, here's all your metallic glitters. These are glitters that are gonna work really well together in an ombre. Here's all the translucents. So you see what I'm saying? Definitely, you know, glitter comes into it. Color comes into it, okay? White to black, like I said, is the devil. It's the devil. Ugh. It can be so hard. White to navy blue. Personally, one of my favorite combinations, but ooh. So when you're doing something like that, white to something dark, yellow to something dark, okay? Especially white though. Hold that thought. Especially white though. Myself, when I do an ombre, I start at the bottom, okay? I tilt that thing up. I start at the bottom, do the top, bottom, top, okay? If I'm doing a white tumbler, I start with the white. If I'm doing something like a yellow, something bright, something that you know you cannot cover the counterpart in any way, okay? I start with the lighter first because it is easier to add dark to a light and it's impossible to take the light away from the dark. So if you start, say you're doing a white and black tumbler, and you have, here's your black, all right? And you got it tilted up the right way because Heather told you to. And all that black is coming on down. And what happens if you know, here comes your dog and it runs into your glitter table? Ask me how I know this. And now you've gone ahead and it freaked you out and it spooked you. So now you kind of shook a little more black. Now you got black way up here. You don't want black way up here. There's no way white's covering that. You can't cover that, okay? Don't do that. So start with your white. Get that white foundation on there, okay? Get your white glitter on there first. Bring it down farther than you would think you want it, okay? Because when it comes to black and white, that black, you got to remember too, especially if you're going fine to fine, you're trying to make it perfect. And what happens? If you're like me, it's almost perfect. And then you're like, ah, oh, maybe in that one spot, maybe just go a little bit higher. And now you've gone too high and you're like, so now you're trying to even that out. And at the end of the day, now your ombre is like up to here. Okay. Don't do that. Make your white solid, get your white all the way down farther than where you think, and then start adding your black, and then come back with your white and a little bit of black. A little bit at the bottom goes a long way. So if you're going real heavy, and if you're heavy handed like I am, because I am, you know, temper yourself on that one. If you're going white, yellow, something very light on the top that cannot possibly cover what's on your bottom, start with that part first so that you're not trying to overcorrect any more than what you may do anyway. Translucents are beautiful. You definitely want to have a spray painted base. If you are doing, you know, I think I talked a little bit in the video about spray paint. You don't need a billion different colors of spray paint. You just don't, okay? I have them because I've collected them. I've been in business for 4 years, okay? So I have all this crap in 4 years. You know, get your basics on your spray paint. Get your white, get your black. If you do beach tumblers, get your gold, okay? If you are somebody who sells a crazy amount of, like, you know, purple, teal, ombre tumblers, get purple, get teal. You know what I'm saying? Get one by one. You don't need to go out and spend a bunch of money. You just want to be able to have that base paint if you choose to use it, okay? You saw in the video where I did one of the tumblers in white and one of the tumblers in spray painted, the purple and the gold. And hopefully you could see the difference in doing that. If you do not have purple and gold spray paint, for the sake of this conversation, use the white, okay? There's nothing wrong with using the white. Just understand that you are going to have to do more glitter passes. So, you know, don't do 4, you know, passes of chunky glitter. You know, do 2 passes of the gold fine underneath it. You see what I'm saying? Because all those glitter passes trying to even out and cover up that white spray paint is going to add a whole lot of ass to your cup. It's going to add a whole lot of body, and your glitter profile is going to get real huge if you're not careful. And I say that because honestly, for probably the first year I did cups, I did nothing but white spray painted bases. So, you know, it's just something that, you know, as your business or as your hobby, depending on which way you're set up, as it grows and expands, you know, it's okay to go ahead and invest a little bit of that money back into your business, even if it's a $6 can of spray paint. Okay. Oh, one thing. Where is it? Okay. Fancy, sexy, and swanky, isn't it? Okay. This is what I call my grandpa brush. Every grandpa in the whole world has a garage brush like this. Now, I don't know if, like, you know, the younger generation of men do, but I can tell you the old timers do, okay? I believe this was gifted to me from my best friend when his dad passed. And you can see it was very well loved and very well used. And I can't live without these things, okay? So if you have a grandpa, go visit him and say, you know, she was talking about like this like wire kind of hard bristle brush in the garage. Grandpa's going to take you out to the garage, be like, this, I've had this since 1974. And he'll be like, you know what? I don't use it as much. I'm thinking about getting a new one. Why don't you take it since you need it? And then you have a grandpa brush. This thing is the bomb diggity. This thing will, if you're like me and your work area is completely covered in glitter, mica dust, sanding dust, this thing will brush off paint off the side of the house, okay? This stuff will clean your entire garage. More importantly, okay, where I'm going with this, as you start practicing your glitter and your glitter technique, and you've got it, you know, on the cup, if you don't love it, you're going to probably do another pass of it, okay? You're going to try again. Do not glitter 17 different cups out of your inventory, okay? Pick one cup, probably a skinny, simply because they're easier in my opinion, but that's just me. You run with you, all right? Glitter it, try your ombre. You're not happy with it, do not spray seal it, okay? If you're not happy with it, do not hit that spray sealer. Grab your grandpa brush, brush all that glitter right off. You're going to end up with a naked spray painted cup, just like you did in the beginning. Get your spray adhesive, start all over again, okay? Rinse and repeat as many times as you have to. All right, spray adhesive is awesome. I love it, but it's not a miracle worker. You can brush it right off with all of the, you know, the grandpa brush here. So it's a great way to practice, not completely kill your entire inventory of cups. Just, you don't like it, brush the glitter off, start all over again. Okay? So, and now let's talk real quick. Kind of jacked up. Super pretty though. Can you see that? There I am. Hard, metallic, mirrored, super crazy, chunky glitter. Ah, so pretty. Love. L-O-V-E. Love. Okay? Is it a pain in the ass to work with? Yes. Is it worth it? Also, yes. But when it comes to things like this, okay, like I said, look at that. That is, it's a freaking mirror, okay? You could literally see yourself in there. When it comes to doing ombres using stuff like this, again, set yourself up for success. As you start learning the different glitters, the different cuts, the different sizes, what to do with them. If you are going, like, my little chunky glitter on there is not crazy chunky. Like, anybody who knows Athena knows that it's just the perfect gold in the whole universe, because it's chunky, but not too chunky. It's soft. It's not a very hard, you know, glitter. It flows beautifully. But when you're talking about something like this, and I can tell you from experience, where am I at? There I am. This is a very thick, chunky, hard, chunky, mirrored, chunky glitter. For something like that, you are going to go ahead and, because this is like a white silver, I would choose like a silver base. Do your silver. Okay, do your silver, let's say we're doing a wedding cup, you know, white, silver, white, something like this. You're going to go ahead and hit it with your spray adhesive. You're going to ombre this the best you can. It's not going to stick. The actual glitter pieces are huge and they're very hard discs. Okay. So they're not going to stick very well, no matter how much spray adhesive you put on there. And the only way you would get it to stick very well, it would be like 7 passes. And by then that bottom's going to be like out to here. So just go ahead, do your fine silver, white, and then start adding that chunky as best as you can. Remember to tilt, get your chunky. It's not going to stick very well, but get as much on there as you can with, say, maybe 1 or 2 light passes. Okay. At that point, get it on your spinner, add your epoxy. Take your glitter at that point. Now, if you sit there and like start shaking the entire thing on the bottom, what's going to happen is you're going to have this beautiful cascade of your chunky glitter up here, and you're going to have flat glitter on the bottom, because epoxy method, especially on chunky, why do we use it? We use it to flatten out that glitter so that it's not 17 inches tall. But that doesn't help if you're just trying to do the bottom. You understand what I'm saying? What you do then, of that case, less is more. So you already have a base of that glitter. It's just not very much with those big chunky pieces. Just lightly sprinkle, as this is rolling through epoxy, lightly sprinkle just a few pieces, all right, just to kind of fill in the bottom. If you go real heavy, the entire bottom is going to flatten out, and that's not a good look, all right? But if you sprinkle in just a few, just a little bit, very lightly, a few of those pieces in there, it's going to create the illusion that you're not using epoxy method to add that glitter. Okay. It's going to create the illusion that by you hand ombreing it, it's all the same. It's going to create the illusion that that glitter is there, it's solid, it's where you want it to be, and it's not, you didn't have to use 2 different methods to apply it. one method being one way and then, you know, the next method being the complete opposite of that. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Less is more in that case. Like I said, if you can get just like a foundation of the glitter on your cup and then just go in afterwards and just lightly sprinkle some of those chunks at the bottom and fill in some of those gaps. So yeah, it's one of those things that, especially when you start working with really, really chunky glitters, you know, you kind of have to work around some of that stuff. And if I was doing that, I would literally be standing over, you know, my workstation in my garage and literally hitting it with spray adhesive, glittering it, spray adhesive, glittering it, and just trying to get some of those larger chunks to cling to the bottom of that cup. Some chunky glitters are better than others. Some, you know, and by that I mean stick better than others. So you're going to have to kind of play with that one as you go. I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate you hanging out with me during this super long TNT section here. I had so much to say. I just did, because every tumbler tutorial that I've ever watched, you know, shows you how to do the actual ombre, which obviously is, you know, the majority of the situation here. But there's so many other little things that I had to learn along the way that, you know, I was trying to do, you know, white to red. Okay. And I'm like, why isn't this working? I'm following all of the steps. Well, it's not working because you're like using really hard mismatched glitters and it's not, you know, you're not taking the proper steps. Being a little more conscious or mindful of the different types of glitter that you are working with, and try to pick glitters that are going to work well together, especially if you're learning. It's going to make things a lot easier. I think that pretty much wraps everything up at this point. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you got anything, you know, any little tips and tricks out of this tutorial that helped you. And also, as I said in, I think, the last video, all of the products that I use off of Amazon, since I don't have like an actual little Amazon store, if you go to my main Wicked Whiskey channel page, you'll see where there's a community tab. Anything that I get from Amazon that I use like in my everyday world with glitter tumbling is on that community page. It's like my little store. So I might make like 10 cents if you buy something, but it's just kind of where I keep all of my my must-have products. So like things like this, the little discs, they'll be in that. So just something to remind you of. I don't know. I hope you had a good time. I hope I was able to at least maybe share with you something that you weren't really, you know, aware of before. That I hope that you got something useful out of this video. I hope you had a good time, and thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.